All right, let's jump right in. In this crazy digital world we live in, a new catchphrase or a funny image can literally blow up overnight. So the big question is your brand actually part of that conversation, or are you just kind of watching from the sidelines? Today, we're going to decode how you can harness the wild power of internet culture and make your brand massively relevant. And that quote right there hits the nail on the head. What might look like just silly internet noise is actually a direct line into how your customers think, how they feel, and how they talk to each other. Ignoring it, well, that's like trying to sell something in a country where you don't speak the language. It just doesn't work. So what is this thing we're actually talking about? It's called Memetic Marketing. And let's be super clear here. This is not about your brand trying to be the cool dad at the party. No, this is a real strategy to make your brand feel more human, more relatable, and like it's genuinely part of the culture your audience already knows and loves. But okay, for all the skeptics out there, does this stuff actually work? I mean, can a funny picture really translate into actual sales? The answer is a resounding yes. And this isn't just a hunch. It's a strategy that's backed by some seriously compelling data. First off, just look at the size of the playground we're talking about. In a market like Bangladesh, for example, we're looking at an estimated 60 million people actively using social media by 2025. That is a gigantic, super connected audience that's hungry for viral content. And here's where it gets really juicy. Check out this data. Research shows that memes have a huge positive impact on consumer engagement. We're talking likes, comments, and especially shares. But here's the kicker. Look at that second bar. It also gives a real, measurable boost to someone's intention to actually buy something. So here's the main takeaway from all that data. Memes aren't the end goal. They're the beginning of a relationship. They're the icebreaker. They get people to stop scrolling and actually pay attention to you. And it's that engagement that builds the trust and the connection that eventually leads to a sale. One flows directly into the other. Okay, so now you get the why, but the how is where things can get tricky, right? How do you actually do this without it backfiring spectacularly? Well, you need a plan, a framework. So let's walk through this 6-step action plan for success. And here it is, the whole playbook at a glance. We're going to cover each one of these, from listening in on the culture all the way to actually measuring your results. This is your roadmap to stop just watching memes and start making them work for you. Step 1 is the absolute foundation of everything, deep cultural listening. Before you even think about posting, you have to listen. You know, what are people actually talking about? What's the local slang? What are the inside jokes? The goal here is to slide into the conversation that's already happening, not to crash the party with a megaphone. Okay, next up is a crucial gut check, the authenticity assessment. Just because a meme is trending does not mean it's right for your brand. You've got to ask yourself, does this genuinely fit who we are? Because trust me, with 3/4 of young consumers sharing memes, they have a built-in radar for fakes, and they will call you out in a second. Now, let's talk about something really important: speed. The life cycle of a meme is incredibly short. It's like a firefly. It's brilliant, and then it's gone. You don't have weeks to get approvals. You basically have a window of less than 72 hours to jump on a trend before it's yesterday's news. Which brings us right to step 3, rapid response and execution. This means your internal process has to be fast and flexible. You have to empower your social media team to make decisions on the fly. Why? Because in the world of memetic marketing, being late isn't just being late. It's failure. Full stop. Step 4 is where the real art comes in, the brand fit insertion. The key here is to be subtle. You can't just slap your logo on a popular meme and call it a day. No, the smart way to do it is to make your product the punchline, or the clever solution to the problem in the meme. Your brand gets to be the hero of the story, not just a billboard in the background. So remember that bridge we talked about, from engagement to sales? Well, step 5 is where you actually build it. You got the laugh, you got the share. Don't let that awesome energy just fade away. Always include a soft, easy call to action. Maybe it's a link to a product, or a fun poll, or a discount code. Turn that chuckle into a click. And finally, step 6, you gotta measure what actually matters. Look, likes are nice, but they don't pay the bills. You need to be tracking what we call Memetic metrics. So we're talking about things like the share rate, how many people loved it enough to pass it on, what was the overall vibe of the comments, and what was your cost per engagement. This is how you prove this whole thing is actually working. Now, I have to be honest, as powerful as this all is, it's also a high wire act. Getting it wrong can be way more damaging than just a boring ad. The one single thing that will determine whether you succeed or fail is, you guessed it, authenticity. And really, there are only two outcomes. When you nail it, you show you're culturally fluent, you fit right in, you feel authentic. But when you get it wrong, by being insensitive or just completely missing the point of the joke, you don't just get ignored. You risk becoming the next meme and actively pushing away the very people you were trying to reach. So if there is one thing, one single thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Being part of the culture is a privilege your brand has to earn. It's not a right. And that means if you have even a tiny bit of doubt about what a meme means, the smartest thing you can do is just don't use it. When in doubt, sit it out. So I'll leave you with this one question to mull over. Is your brand just shouting at the culture from the outside, or is it putting in the work to actually earn its place as a participant within it? Honestly, the answer to that could change everything for you.